I am thankful for each and every one of you beasties. Happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays. What's up, beasties? It's me, it's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another episode of A Beast Tale, where I update you on what I've been reading, what I will be reading, on my life, on the channel, on my writing, and everything else. It's been a hot minute since I've made a video besides my interviews and Beast Friends Forever podcast. So I wanted to hop in here before the holidays because I have some fun holiday videos coming out through the weekend. So I wanted to get on here and just catch you up on everything. I have some life updates that are going to kind of change the direction of some things. We'll get to that in a little bit. Down below, as always, there's chapters. You can hop around. If you just want to see what I've been reading, hear some book recs, hear about some books, and stuff like that, hang out for that. That's up next. And if you want to hear what's going on in my life and what that means for the channel going forward, and just hang out and chat about stuff, that'll be afterwards. So without further ado, let's get into what I've been reading in October and November. All right, so October was spooky season month, and I had a lot of fun making shorts and content around spooky season. Not as much as I had hoped, and I didn't read as much spooky stuff as I had hoped. I felt kind of down about it, but then I looked at what I read, and I was like, I actually read quite a bit, which is cool. But, you know, one of these years, I will be able to devote my whole October to horror or horror-esque books, and it'll be lovely. But that didn't happen this year. So anyway, let's get into what I read. Let's start with the novellas. So novella-wise, I got this here, so I don't forget. I read 2 novellas in October, and then I was reading 2 others and finished them into November. So I finished 4 novellas since the last time we've chatted. So let me talk about which ones they were. So first up, for spooky season, I read Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Caw. And I've always wanted to check this out. And I really like Cassandra Caw's writing. I love the book by them, The Dead Take the A Train, which this is an awesome cover, but I love that this is just a book you can buy in the store. It's got a cool naked hardcover, cool in papers. And I love this little hardback size, which they did a lot of during COVID to save money on printing because everything was so expensive. But I actually love the small hardcover. I don't know. I just do. But anyway, this is a cool book. Check it out if you haven't. And I think they're still working on the sequel. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. Nothing But Blackened Teeth was very interesting. It gets not a lot of great reviews, so I was wondering why, but I actually liked it, and it was very weird. The ending was not happy, and it really sat with me and made me feel cruddy for a while, but sometimes that's what a horror book does, and that's kind of what I expect from a horror book. I don't expect a happy ending, so I thought it was cool. It was very character-focused and atmospheric. You got a group of friends, kind of friends, loosely friends, a group of young adults who some are friends, some are not. And there's a couple of them getting married, and they're really into like goth stuff and horror. So they go to get married at this haunted house, basically haunted building, with a history of not good stuff. So they go there, and of course they end up trapped, and there's a hungry evil spirit coming after them, messing with all their heads, and it's a very descent into madness for a lot of them, and you find out a lot of ugliness. The most ugliness in this story comes from the people, and a lot of the things they're hiding inside, and a lot of the things they've done to each other, that's coming to the forefront. So it was very interesting. It was a quick read, and I did an audio, and it was real creepy, and I enjoyed it. So that was a lot of fun. And then I did Fright Manifest, as you can see here, by Don Campbell, who I had on Beast Friends Forever. He is fantastic, awesome indie horror author. Cannot wait to read more of his stuff. But I loved Fright Manifest. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. The other 2 that I'm going to mention, I really read into November more. So if I had to pick a novella of October, it would be Fright Manifest. It was really good. And it is basically some people get on a red-eye flight, and really character focused. You get to know these people in a very short amount of pages, but Don does a great job with his characters. And then on this plane, there is an evil entity that is going passenger by passenger and getting inside their head, making them see all the wrong they've done, making them go a little crazy, and then hideously killing them. And it's just terrifying, grotesque, and bloody, and I loved it. So they're trying to stop it and before it gets them all, and it's just really good. Goosebumps. Makes me not want to ride a plane anytime soon. Check that out if you have not yet. It was very good. And I did the audio again, and that was awesome. So then novella-wise, in November, I, of course, I've been on a Suneater kick to get caught up in time for the Gala, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. Sad story there. The Gala was awesome. So I see, but I, of course, did not go. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But Shadows Upon Time, excited to read that. So I've been going through, so I read Dregs of, I do actually have some physical books here that I can show you. So I read Dregs of Empire, the third novella in the Suneater series, and I really liked it. Focuses on a side character that I love. I'm not going to say anything because of spoilers, but he is scrappy and awesome, and I loved having a story focused on him, especially after the way that Ashes of Man ended, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So this was a lot of fun. I really liked it. I still think Queen Amid Ashes is my favorite novella, but this one is right there. It was really good. And then I read Tales of the Suneater Volume 3, which here's a picture, and they're also contained in here in this special edition. And that was a lot of fun. Again, I love getting to see Christopher Ruocchio stretch those writing muscles and write third person, not just first person, different characters, where he can kind of get in the muck and just focus on a different kind of character than Hadrian, and not have the scope be so big and epic. And you get to see these people down on the streets or down in the on the battlefield, just grunts fighting the war, and there's just a lot of cool stuff. And this one he did a lot with things going on in these cities away from the war, which was pretty cool. So I really liked it a lot. I think as far as the Tales of the Suneater go, probably this one I really loved, but probably my favorite one is probably still the second one, Volume 2, but I've loved them all. You can't go wrong with any of them. None of them are bad, so just like the novellas. So these were a lot of fun. If I had to pick one for November, which it's not done yet, so not going to do that. Not going to do that. I'll save for October. My novella of the month for October was Fright Manifest, and I read these in November, so we'll see when I do my wrap-up, November wrap-up, what I pick. But anyway, there you go. All right, let's talk about the books I read in October and so far this month in November. So in October, I read, let's see, I think, let me look here. I read 4 books in October. So this one up here. So I read 4 books, and really I read another one, kind of. We'll talk about it in a second. So first indie book I read, Danforth, The Tomb of the Black Pharaoh, Danforth, Eldritch Tales of World War II, Volume 1 by Christopher Michael. Very cool cover. Lovecraftian horror set during World War II. And it is pretty cool. I had Christopher on Beast Friends Forever. Check that out if you haven't yet. And it's very interesting. I never read At the Mountain of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft, but I need to now, because this takes a character from that who survives that craziness, and then it kind of looks at what they would do next, and they're the focal point of this going forth, Danforth. So pretty cool. And this was fun. I did the audio and physically kind of back and forth, and I liked it. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It starts not really slow, but it starts off with a lot of kind of telling you about what's happened in the story and the world and everything, and then eventually you get kind of to like what's going on now with the character, and then it just takes off, and it's fast-paced, creepy, Lovecraftian stuff. World War II is going on. It's pretty cool. Spy, espionage, it was a lot of fun. So I really enjoyed it. It was a good time. I would recommend it, especially if you like Lovecraftian stuff or World War II or spy stuff, action. It's good. It's good. And then I read a book called Whale Fall by Daniel Kraus. And that one took me by surprise. It was very, very good. I did it on audio mostly because I got it from on Libby from my library, and I just was kind of listening to it when I was doing chores and stuff around the house one day, and then I got hooked, and I ended up listening to it over just a couple of days whenever I was driving or doing chores, and it was so good. So good. Daniel Kraus is an author I've been curious about, and Whale Fall in particular. But he's got some graphic novels that sound really cool too that I want to check out. But so look forward to hearing about that. But this book, Whale Fall, is really like a father-son story, but not like a good one. I mean, it's a good book, but kind of a broken relationship between a father and a son, and a broken family from everything. And it really focuses on the main character. His dad was a diver, well known in the town, small town in this area. Well, I don't know if it's a small town, I guess, but in this area, everybody loved him. He'd take them out, he'd teach them about diving and the ocean, and everyone just thought he was great. But then at home is a different story. He was always hard on the main character. He taught him a lot, took him out to teach him about the ocean and diving. But they just never could see eye to eye. They butted heads. And the dad was really good to the sisters and the mom, and kind and patient, but then he was always hard and short and distant with the son. And eventually it came to a head. They got into it, and the son took off, left, lived with other people, did really well in high school, went to college, is doing great, trying to show his dad what's up. Then his dad gets cancer, and he wants to make amends and have the son come back. The mom's asking him to, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't trust it. He doesn't want anything to do with it. Well, then the dad is kind of at the end of his rope. He's not going to get better. And instead of dying in a bed, shriveling away, he decides to go out into the ocean, ended his own way, and just goes into the ocean and is lost at sea. So the son is kind of hated by people because he didn't come back. And he's kind of estranged a little bit from his family, and he has a lot of issue, like anxiety and depression over it, and struggling. So he decides he's going to go and find his dad's body. He's going to go dive out there and find it, bring it home so they can bury it, have a funeral, and everyone will love him again, and everything will be all right. So that's kind of the premise of the story. And then it's told in such a cool way because he's diving, and he's teaching you what his dad taught him about diving, and it's helping him get through these situations as he's trying to find his dad's body. But then you also are getting flashbacks to when he learned them, and you're learning about his upbringing and his dad and his family and everything. And it's just told so good. It goes back and forth between the present when he's diving and getting into trouble and remembering things his dad taught him, but you're learning about his dad and his relationship. And then he uses those things in that current moment. And eventually he ends up getting swallowed by a whale, and it's messed up, and it's claustrophobic, and it's terrifying. And it's just anxiety riddled to listen to and to read through. But it's so good. Such a good story of family and father-son stuff. Oh, so good. I loved it. So if you haven't checked it out yet, you definitely should. All right. And then with my good friend, Sam Wise, check out his channel and subscribe if you have not yet. We were going to read Shogun together. And I read book 1. This is split into 2 books. At least my copy is. I read book 1. And as you can see here, book 1 is this wee little part up here. Book 2 is this all down here. So I still have a ways to go. This copy is beautiful, though. Historical fiction. You got John Blackthorne, who is sailing the seas with some guys, with a crew, doing some things, and he ends up, because of storms and stuff, has to find safety, find shelter, and he ends up in this kind of ancient Japanese community, and there's like a war going on, and he ends up in the middle, and there's samurais, and it's interesting. It's cool, and I've heard from a lot of people whose reading likes align with mine, and they love it. They say it gets better as it goes, so I know I'm just going to stick with it. but it's going to be a slow go because so far I have not really enjoyed it. It's been a little, for me, it's been a little slow at times. And then there's times when I'm confused and with the writing style, I don't know what's going on or who the POV is. It kind of jumps around in the scene at times, but not most of the time. You're just with John Blackthorne. But then once in a while, it seems like it's you're in someone else's head, and I get confused. But it's very cool still, the world and the action and stuff going on. So sometimes I'll get really pulled in, and then something happens where it pushes me out again, and I'm like, so I'm going to keep at it. I mean, like I said, I'm not far into it, and I know that it's very well thought of, and I really want to watch the show and talk to Sam about it, so I got to see how far he's gotten. He's probably done. But, yeah, I'm going to keep at it, so I'll keep talking about this in the coming weeks as I get through this bad boy. So, that. Then, these two bangers that it comes down to for me to choose between my favorite of the month. We had Coffin Moon by Keith Rawson, who's an author I've been wanting to check out. I have a lot of his other books, and now I'm probably going to get all the rest because I freaking love this book. It's a short, quick read. You heard me talk about it a lot when I first started reading it. It's obviously about a vampire. So it starts off, and he does such a good job with slice of life and character building and making you love these characters. You've got our main character is Dwayne Miner. He's I should put this here. He's a Vietnam vet. I'll put this here. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. We got Dwayne Miner. He's a Vietnam vet. He came back from Vietnam. He had some troubles with alcoholism. He lived in a apartment above a bar that was owned and ran by his in-laws. He lived there with his wife, their daughter, and she's just super sweet, supportive. She's going to college, writing a book, but he had trouble after Vietnam. But when we meet him, he's already kind of given up, got past his alcoholism. He's sobered up. Something bad happened. We don't know what. It's mysterious. His mother-in-law knows, but no one else does. And we don't really know, but he's running the bar for them for a lot of the time. And him and his wife are doing well. He's doing much better. And they also have a surrogate daughter, which is his wife's niece, also his niece, but his wife's sister's child. And all we know is that her mom is in prison for shooting her kind of abusive stepdad in the face in front of her. So she's quiet, gets into trouble at school, gets into a lot of fights, is dealing with a lot. So that's kind of where it picks up, and you learn to love these characters, knowing that something bad is going to happen, something bad is coming. There's some shady biker gang people showing up in the bar a lot. He doesn't understand why. And his father-in-law has a terminal illness going on that he's just finding out about, and there's just a ton of stuff. And then something terrible happens, tragedy strikes, and Dwayne Miner and his niece decide they're going to get revenge and go across the country to track down a vampire that took everything from them. And that's kind of where it goes from there. But it takes some crazy turns and twists that I did not think were going to happen. And it's wild. And it's left where it could go. There could be more books in it, but he doesn't plan to right now. He's got a lot of cool things he's working on. So we'll see. But it was really, really good. I highly recommend this book to anybody and everybody. I won't stop talking about this book until everyone I know checks it out. And finally, I read Ashes of Man, Suneater, book number 5. And this one broke my heart. I thought Kingdoms of Death was rough. This one upped the ante. And it was really good. Again, kind of these, like I said, Kingdoms of Death and this were supposed to be one book, but he had to split it in half for the publisher. So it really is just one big long story of heartache and tragedy and making me tear up. But it it ended on a note where I'm very interested to see where it goes in Disquiet Gods and into the final book, Shadows Upon Time. So yeah, it was awesome. Highly recommend it, and the series to anybody that hasn't jumped in. Now's the time, man. It's about to be completed, and it is a ride. And I recommend doing the short story collections and the novellas. Once I get all done, I'm going to do a whole series video about why you should read it and the reading order and all that stuff. So look forward to that. But I love it. Definitely going to be in my top 5 series, maybe top 3 when we see how it all ends. So I love it. It's awesome. Definitely check it out. So if I had to pick a book of October, it would be tough because I love both of these books. But I would probably go with Coffin Moon. I loved Suneater. Loved it. But Kingdom of Death was my September book of the month. So I loved Ashes of Man. But Coffin Moon it just gripped me. I loved every second of it. And I just want to read more Keith Rawson now. New favorite author there. For sure. So that's what and in November, I've finished one book, but I'll talk about a bunch that I'm reading. Father of Shadow and Death by Tim McKay, TJ McKay. Had him on Beast Friends Forever. He's awesome. Check him out. All his books are great. And this was a lot of fun. Horror, fantasy, very dark, very fun. You follow the main character, Braddock, who is one of those characters that is kind of a tool. He's not the best person. And he's kind of arrogant, and he kind of does a lot of stupid things that have ruined a lot of his close relationships with his loved ones. But he's so entertaining, and I love being in his head and in his POV and following him. It is a blast. And there's some, mysterious murders going on. He's on the case, trying to solve them, and it's just really cool. Got a lot of fantasy stuff that's awesome, and a lot of dread horror stuff that's awesome. Quick read. Definitely check this out. Beautiful cover too. This is a lot of fun. Tim is an awesome author. I love all his stuff. Check this out. So I'm reading The Black Company. This has 3 books in it, I think. So I'm almost done with the first one. I'm reading this with Kevin Toll from Kevin Toll Reads. So check out his channel and subscribe. It'll be down below. But we're going to be talking about this on a live stream sometime in December. I got to finish it up, but I'm loving it. I love grimdark, dark fantasy, and this was kind of one of the early ones that kicked it off. So I'm loving reading it. It's interesting. It's very this is the book that kind of got fantasy authors to think I can tell stories at the ground level in the muck and not have it be epic and fancy and huge in scope. It can be right on the ground with these characters that normally would just be castaways or side characters, but they can be front and center. So I'm digging it. It's a lot of fun. And then, of course, I'm reading Disquiet Gods. Enjoying that so far. Gonna get that done hopefully probably not before the end of November, but hopefully quickly into December so I can read Shadows Upon Time when it comes in, because we'll get to that. It's coming to me in the mail. And then, of course, I just got my copy of Empire of the Dawn, book 3 of Empire of the Vampire. I love these covers. I have the first 2 like this, so I wanted it to match, so I had to order it from across the pond. So it just came in, so I'm going to be probably trying to read this and Disquiet Gods at the same time. We'll see how that goes. We'll see which one I focus on more, because I'm pumped for both of them. And I'm pumped for a lot of other books too. But for now, I'm not going to bore you and talk about a million things. But I've also got a bunch of indie books that I'm in the middle of that I'm just loving, that I'm just kind of mood reading between those. We got The Lich Before the Darkness by Timothy Stormcrow, an urban fantasy. I love it. So fun. We've got Remembering Demons by Jay Cornelius. Another urban fantasy, dark fantasy, very fun. Morvelving, I love Morvelving. The main character is a lycanthrope, a huge 7-foot tall one. Oh man, wolf and cub kind of style of story. Depression, a gray main character who's made a lot of mistakes. Drug abuser. Oh, it's just so good, so good. Children of the Gods by S.A. Klopfenstein. This one is awesome. Awesome fantasy dragon. I am digging it. I need to get these all done. And need to focus on them. And then I also started Sordanian by L.L. Stevens, who I had on the channel. She's awesome, and this is really good, beautiful writing. If you like Janny Wirtz, you should definitely check out this series as well. And then Relentless Blades by Russell Carroll. I'm loving this as well. Definitely need to just sit down and crank this one out because it's a quick read, and I'm digging it a lot. I had him on the channel. Check his chat with me out too. So I don't have a shortage of things to read. So let's talk about some life updates and, what's going on with the channel. So if you just wanted to check out the books, thanks for hanging out. Think about hanging out and hearing what's going on with my life and the channel and all that. But if not, thank you. I appreciate it. But let's talk about what's going on. All right. So life updates. Got some not great things, but not end of the world or anything like that. Okay, so first, a lot of people knew that I was reading through Suneater, excited for the Gala. It was in my state where I live now of North Carolina. It's still about 3 hours away on the other side of the state, but still not too far. I was excited to go meet a lot of people that have become great friends on BookTube. And I was all pumped to go, but had some life things come up that kept me from going. First, one of my kiddos got sick. There was a virus going through my house. One of them got, one had it and missed some time at school. And then the weekend came. One of them got pink eye, had the virus, wasn't feeling good. And my wife had to work. So didn't really have anybody that could be home with a sick kid with pink eye and a virus raging through the house. So for already that reason, I wasn't really able to go. And it's good that I didn't go because then I ended up getting it. Who knows? I might have given it to some people at the Gala. That could have been bad. But so that I missed out on that, which is a bummer. A lot of you have seen a lot of content creators doing that. And I could have gotten to hang out with them all and been there. And it is a bummer. It is a bummer, but it's life. But some other life stuff happened before that made it even more of a bummer, and is what I'm going to talk about. Changes with the channel and my writing and all of that. This isn't really a monthly update, so I'm not going to do channel stats and look at like videos I did on the channel and all that stuff, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I will get back to that eventually, but anyway, life updates. So I do believe in being authentic and transparent, but I won't get too deep in the weeds with this, airing out skeletons and stuff. But as most of you know, I was on a journey that moved to North Carolina, was going to teach at a school in North Carolina. But then my kids were struggling a little bit with their transition. And I just really thought, like, this is silly. We're in a great spot. Financially, my wife's income went up. We made bank from selling our house, and we were smart with our money, and we were just in a great spot. So I thought, why not take this school year, support the kids, be here for them, help them with the transition, and then just go all in on the channel and writing, go after my dream, take a few months, see what happens. But life sometimes has other ideas. So at the end of the day, for reasons out of my control, really, I did have to make the decision to go back to work. I did decide to do remote teaching because that was important to me, to still be home to get my kids up, take them to school, and not have the commute, be here when they got home. That was important to me, so I did not want that to change. So I did find a great teaching job, special ed, what I did in my old job, working with kids on their IEP goals and reading, writing goals, all those kinds of things. I'll be able to push into a school from my home on the computer, work on their goals with them, get to know them, do IEPs, all that cool stuff. So I'm excited. I love working with kids. Not the end of the world, but it's just that the biggest reason I decided to go back was, I mean, I love the work. It's fine. having extra money and more money to go towards savings and goals and things like that is awesome. Instead of, waiting a few months and trying to be smart and just putting all that off. All that's fine. But I think the problem that I have that has bummed me out about this change, well, obviously one, completely changing my goals and my thought process for what this year would be like. Not going to have as much time for the channel, not much have as much time for reading, not going to have as much time for writing, and all of that, and trying to figure out the new way that's going to have to work now, where now this is all a hobby again instead of being front and center and being what I do. So that's a bummer to change that, to give up on that, to more on that, because I was really having a blast and excited about a lot of things. So having to do things differently now. That's why I've really just been doing the interviews I had planned, Beast Friends Forever, that I had planned already, focusing on those, maybe some shorts here and there. And I wanted to get this out. But I do have some videos I'll do here and there. But for a while, especially probably through the holiday, I'll do some videos when I have time. But we'll get into that in a second. But I think the biggest, what was tough for me was this community is awesome. And I've made a lot of friends in the bookish space. Everybody in this community has been great, supportive, and it gets me stoked. But in my real life, that positivity and support was not there. And a lot of negativity, a lot of making jokes, and just not people. Beasties, surround yourself with people that want to root for you, because the people that are closest to you, your loved ones, family and friends, should be people that are your biggest fans and want to see you succeed, not sometimes your biggest detractors. And that's kind of what I had. Some of the people closest to me in real life, IRL, were just being snarky and saying negative things, and it just got to the point where it's like, not worth it. I'm just gonna go back to working, doing work that I do enjoy, so that the rest of so that my IRL peeps will just leave me alone, and I can go back to doing this as a hobby and working my butt off. And I'm still going to make it happen. The dream's not dead. The journey's not dead. But I had to make that change because it was getting to be more stressful, and it was just causing me to put more pressure on myself. Like, I got to get the channel to this point. I got to get this book done by this point. And it just wasn't a good environment to chase that dream in. So it's kind of a bummer. So all that was going on. And then also, of course, timing is always interesting. Had a few really just nasty comments on the channel and videos, just ones where those people chose meanness and just to try to knock me down, to put themselves up a peg or something. Just making fun of me pretty much in comments, and just being nasty. And I always respond to those, and I always try to be super positive and nice, and like try to start a dialogue, and they didn't respond at all. And that's how you always know that they're just trying to be mean. So you cut that with everything changing, and I was just kind of bummed. I've been in a little bit of a funk. But it's all right. I'm going to get through it. Like I said, being a teacher is something I enjoy. And this dream I'm not giving up on it. It's just a bummer when the people closest to you sometimes don't support you the way you support them. I'll leave it at that. But you are all awesome, beasties, and this community is awesome, and this journey is not done. It's just going to have to look different. So that is what I wanted to talk about. It's going to have to be but a focus for me needs to be my writing, because that is something that I've put off for way too long. And this channel's not going anywhere. I'm still going to do interviews. I'm still going to do content. I just have to take a little time to get through all these interviews I've scheduled and lined up, because I thought that I had the time. I'm going to focus on those, making some content here and there. And then in 2026, I'm going to back off on the interviews a little. I'm still going to do them weekly, but I'm going to try to do 1 to 2 a week, instead of 5 or 6 a week, and have some more consistent content out there. But I'm really gonna go all in on my writing too. And I'm probably gonna read a little less instead of thinking, oh, I gotta make sure I read at least 4 or 5 books. Probably 2 or 3, and that's okay. You know, and I probably won't be doing TBRs because I don't want to put pressure on it. And another thing is I'm going to start just reading things that I want to read instead of reading what I think I should be reading to try to get more eyes on the channel. I'm just going to read what I love because everybody loves hidden gems. Everybody loves hearing about things they haven't heard about. So I'm still going to read popular stuff that I'm interested in, but I'm not going to read popular stuff that I normally wouldn't if it wasn't for trying to do the channel and get eyes, you know, if that makes sense. So a lot of things to think about. Not sure how it's all going to pan out, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm still positive my dream is going to happen. I'm going to become an author. This channel is going to keep growing, and it's going to be awesome. This community is going to keep growing, and I cannot wait for all of that. It's just going to take longer than I thought, and it's you know, going to have to happen on the side, and that's okay. That's how most people chase this dream, baby. And I'm going to be no different. So back to the grind, but still doing it remotely is cool. I'm still going to have, that should create a little more time and energy to still work on this more than it would have been before when I was working in person and gone from the house for, you know, 12 hours or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. I missed the gala. It was a bummer. It was kind of a rough lead up with that change and some of the negativity, and then the ugly comments, and it was kind of a bummer. And then just when my kid got sick, my wife had to work. It was like, it's just not meant to be this time. So, but if you were there, that's awesome. And if you checked out the content and you saw it, it was such an awesome group there, and they had a great time. And Christopher Rocchio and his wife have been fantastic. They're going to send me my book and swag in the mail, even though I wasn't able to make it. They were awesome. So excited to get to that ASAP. And yeah, a lot of rambling. Just to tell you that I'm back to work. This is a hobby. Once again, the journey of it being a full-time thing has ended. And maybe, hopefully someday through hard work, it'll be a thing again. But for now, it's kind of back to the grind. And yeah, hope you are all doing great, beasties. I got some fun stuff, a fun Thanksgiving video I made that'll come out on Thanksgiving. And then I've got some Black Friday deals video that'll come out on Black Friday. And then we'll go from there to see what's next. But and then next week I have a bunch of Beast Friends Forever interviews and all of that. So hope everybody's doing good. My writing, I haven't done anything, to be honest, since this change the last few weeks. Finding a job, going back to work, dealing with some of the negativity. Like, just haven't been in, like, I've just had to, like, turn my brain off and just read and watch shows and not stress about other things. So, but it's all I'm gonna get back to it. My books are happening. It's all gonna be there. I had plans for Substack, to do some writing in there separate from my books that I'm working on, and I still want to do that, but I gotta figure out how that's gonna work without as much time to devote to it. So a lot of things still in the works. Just have to figure out over the next few weeks how that's going to look, how it's going to go. And 2026 is going to be a great year for me, for you, and for this channel and this community. And I can't wait to see how it goes. So that's all I got for you, beasties. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for the support. As always, I am thankful for all of you. Like I said, happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you in the next video. And until I do, devour your TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see ya. All right, so so a lot of people knew that I was a couple things. One, a lot of people. Let's see, where do I start with this?